Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out at the range just to do a quick video with the new FN509. It's the new 9mm pistol. It's based on the FNS handgun that's already been on the market for a few years. This, as rumor has it, is the MHS program handgun that FN had submitted to those military trials. Now, of course, this handgun does not have a manual safety. It's my understanding that as a requirement for the MHS program, a manual safety was required, so perhaps FN removed it for the commercial market. I don't know. What I want to do is run this gun through the gauntlet. We've had an awful lot of requests about running an FNS through the gauntlet, and I knew the 509 was on the horizon. We do buy the guns for these tests, and I didn't want to spend money on FNS. To be quite honest with you, I've never been quite that interested in the FNS because it kind of looked like the SIG P320, and then it looked like a hammer-fired gun that had been retrofitted to a striker-fired gun, which is exactly what it is. But the 509 has better lines in my mind. It has kind of a recontoured grip, has different texturing. It does have a removable, replaceable back strap. Definitely some new slide cuts to the handgun that definitely, in my opinion, improve the look of the gun. And it's not as awkward looking. I do think this handgun looks quite a bit better than the SIG P320, but that's all subjective. Those are just my opinions, and they're worth exactly what you paid for them. But it's a 9mm handgun, holds 17 rounds. And a magazine, comes with 2 magazines and a soft case. The handgun has an MSRP of around $649. However, I have been able to find them online for less than $600 already. So the handguns are shipping. It's a good looking handgun. The sight's set rather tall. It fits comfortably in the hand. I would say that the gun is very similar in size to something like an M&P pistol, an M&P 9mm. So it's not exactly a compact, but I wouldn't exactly call it a full-size handgun either. You can see how my hand grips the pistol grip and how much overhang I have. Even with the magazine out, I am able to still get a full grip on the handgun. The gun has full ambi controls, which is something I've really liked I've liked seeing in the newest generation of handguns. The P10C from CZ, which just hit the market, has full ambi controls, and when I say that, it has a slide stop slide release on both sides of the handgun, and it has a magazine release on both sides of the handgun. So you don't have to reverse any controls to go from right hand or left hand use. The only thing that doesn't change is the side of the gun that it ejects from, but left-handed shooters typically don't have a problem with modern handguns with brass hitting them in the face if the handgun's properly tuned. So it is fully ambi, and I will say also that the handgun can have the slide dropped. Drop this magazine away here, lock it to the rear. You can drop the slide easily, either right or left-handed. So some handguns, like the Remington RP9, for example, I can easily drop that slide with my right hand, but I can't so easily drop that slide with my left hand. I can push and push and push, and it won't work, but this handgun works just fine. Polymer frame, steel upper, and pretty simple disassembly. I mean, it's just like any other modern handgun. Just pull it apart. So again, we're just breaking the gun in this afternoon. This is not a review video. This is more or less a shooting video. Have some of the guys from the shop out here, and we're just going to run some ammunition through the gun. We want to break it in. We don't want to take a brand new gun out of the box and subject it to the gauntlet. So we've come out with some Freedom ammunition. We have some of their new American Steel 9mm ammo, and that's basically brass covered steel cased ammo. It's affordable, but so far the FN509, I almost called it an FNS, seems to be running the ammunition just fine this afternoon. So we're going to run at least 250, 300 rounds through it this afternoon. Depends on how much ammo I have in the Jeep, and then we're going to get her all cleaned up, and we'll come back out the next week or two and run this gun through the gauntlet. So let's do some shooting with the handgun and give you some of our initial thoughts on how this handgun performs. Yeah, so I really like the trigger on this guy so far. When we first did our initial, like, the gun just got here video, Tim and I went on Instagram Live, and it had no rounds through it. The reset was a little gritty, take-up was gritty, but that all worked out here. We probably have, I don't know, 450, 500 rounds, something like that, through this gun so far, and it's really starting to work in. You know, the ergonomics are great. The recoil impulse is nice and soft. It's easy to track. The steel sights are a great factory option. Full ambi controls, super dig that, being a lefty shooter. But yeah, it's a nice gun so far. So let's finish out this magazine. There you go. Ambi controls.
So I really like this. Like Sam just said, initial reviews, I thought the trigger was a little creepy, gritty. I mean, we share the same opinion. I'm also a left-handed shooter just like Sam, and I really like this compared to, like, say, the FNX or the FNS series. I think the grip is a little bit better. The checkering is definitely a lot better. It's a lot more aggressive, but if you guys have held an FNX or an FNS, you know that it's very aggressive, but this is not as aggressive, but it's definitely not... It's weird. It's definitely a much better checkering pattern than on the FNS and FNX series. So I really like it. I think this is a great gun for the money.
Excuse me. Sights track pretty nice on that too. Don't you think?
Thanks for stealing my glory. Appreciate it.
Hey guys, I'm going to take down the gun for you real quick, and we're going to take a look inside the FN509. First off, drop the magazine. Of course, make sure the gun is clear. Pull the trigger. It's got the takedown lever. Just twist that right down. Release the slide. Pull the trigger, and the slide should come right out the frame. Standard striker fired frame. And the slide, again, you have the dual captured recoil spring. That's become pretty standard with striker fired handguns. And the Browning style tilting barreled action. Very similar to anyone that owns any modern striker fired handgun. They're pretty much a very similar design, takedown, and all that stuff. So cold hammer forged barrel from FN. You know, they're known for their quality as far as the accuracy and durability of their barrels. That's no different here with the 509. The one thing that really comes out at me is the MSRP. This is $649 at MSRP. Obviously, you'll probably see them street like $625 to $600 probably down there. I don't know. They probably have a map of whatever it might be. But anyway, that being said, it's still $100 to $150 more expensive than my personal favorite, the CCP-10C. At a $499 MSRP, it is by far, in my opinion, the best modern striker-fired handgun available on the market. Now, they're getting out there. They're trickling out there. I believe that you could probably go into a shop and find one of these maybe more quickly than a P10C, but if you're willing to wait, I think that that'd be the way to go. That being said, very nice gun, high quality, built from FN, good grip, ambi control, steel sights, accurate, decent trigger. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. It's not a bad gun by any means. All right, guys, so we've fired about a half a case of this 9mm ammo, which is the Freedom Munitions stuff. It looks like it has a brass case, but it's brass plating over a steel case. 115 grain ball. The 509 has been eating this stuff up. I'm going to shoot a magazine out of it here real quick. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I don't really have a whole lot to add over what Sam and Connor have already said about the gun, but I have a couple of things I do want to add. So you'll notice the steel target down range is probably a good 15 yards or more away, and I'm able to get very quick double taps with the handgun. The recoil impulse on this thing is extremely pleasant. This is a very easy handgun to control. I will say the P10C, which I also like quite a bit, Sam is madly in love with the thing, has a more abrupt recoil impulse. This has a more mild recoil impulse, and I'm able to keep this one pretty flat on the target. Not that the P10C is hard to control, but I have noticed the differences between the two handguns. Overall, the quality of this handgun is typical FN in my opinion. The one thing I was going to be concerned about was the curvature of this trigger. The trigger is rounded. I'm used to flat-faced triggers. This rounded trigger felt really goofy to me, and that's one of the reasons why I've never really cared for the FNS series of handguns. It's always felt odd to me, but out here shooting the gun, I don't even notice it. So, I mean, when I'm sitting there playing with it like right now, I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's clear. It feels weird because my finger's rolling around on those round edges, but it's when I'm shooting the handgun, I don't really notice it. Now the brake is nice and clean, and the reset is okay. As already mentioned, it was kind of nasty out of the box. We put several hundred rounds through it. The trigger's really smoothed out. I find this gun extremely easy to shoot. Sights are dead on, and overall, I think it's a good buy. I mean, $649 MSRP. I got on Gunbroker here just a few minutes ago on my phone and noticed some guys were selling them for around $579, but still, that's more than the P10C, so you might want to consider the P10C as well. I mean, that's kind of the new bar now for striker-fired completely ambi pistols. CZ has really just come out swinging with that new handgun. That does not take away from the quality and the overall feel and ergonomics and shootability of this handgun, though, where I at first didn't think I was going to like it. Having shot it, you know, probably 5 or 6 or 7 magazines myself this afternoon, I'm really starting to like the handgun. I definitely need to shoot it some more, which is why we don't just take guns out of the box and do videos and say, hey, this is the best thing since sliced bread. We want to shoot them because very often, in my opinion, will evolve over time. Sometimes I start off liking a gun, wind up hating it, and in this case, I start off kind of lukewarm about the gun and wind up liking it, and that's where I'm at with the 509 so far. Very aesthetically pleasing, too. Good-looking little handgun. So, guys, that's it for this afternoon. We're going to tie it up. This was just a first shots video. We're breaking the gun in for the gauntlet. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys would like to support us here at the Military Arms Channel, please swing by and check out our Patreon page. It's also turned into something of a buyer's club. We're putting up some smoking deals, and our patrons are just absolutely loving it. We're going around to distributors and trying to find outstanding closeout deals on stuff, and we're passing those savings along to our patron members. Also, if you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms Channel, you can swing by, of course, and check out our online store, which is Copper Custom. And if you haven't already, please check out full30.com. That's full30.com. We've taken all the web's best firearms content creators and brought them under one gun-friendly roof, and that is full30.com. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for all those years of support, and we'll talk to you guys soon. I'm going to knife hand you. I should quit pointing. Do like a politician.
I'll see you in the comments section.